Now that many KC survey states are moving to GeoPack survey, it becomes more important to know how to move KC legacy data into GeoPack. One of the ways that has been there since day one is the ability to bring in a GeoPack input file into GeoPack that is generated from KC. To do this, I will go to Geometry, Classic Kogo. This will open up my Kogo window, and from the Kogo window I will go to File and then File Utility. As long as Load is selected in my pull down in the File Utility, I will see a list of various input files that can be read into my project. The format of these input files must be such that the GeoPack job number is the last 3 characters in the file name, and the extension should be I and the current user's operator code, in my case AG. So in the example here, this file is actually named survey-a333.iag, and so on for the rest of the files. To use one of these input files generated from KC and to bring it into GeoPack, I will highlight the file, click Apply, and I will see a preview in my Kogo window of the first 10 lines of that input file. From my Kogo window, I will choose Edit and then Read All. This reads in all of the lines in that input file which are read into memory when I clicked the Apply button in the previous dialog. The first 4 of these files are sectional and coordinate search information, and the last file will actually be the topo file for this particular project. I will continue reading in files by highlighting them, clicking Apply, and then choosing Edit, and then Read All. And we will see additional information drawn into the DGN via the SMD file, and of course these points and chains are also imported into the GPK database. I'll continue with Survey C, highlight, click Apply, Edit, and then Read All. Survey D, Apply, Edit, Read All. The last file, Survey E, actually takes about 10 to 12 minutes to be read into the GeoPack database and drawn into the DGN, but for purposes of this AVI, that will be edited to be about 30 seconds. Highlight Survey E, click Apply. As always, my first 10 lines of the file are previewed, and the entirety of the file is read into memory. And then I will click Edit and Read All. In a moment, I will minimize both the coordinate geometry dialog box and the file utility and show the points that were read in from the KC input file into our now GeoPack survey project. We can now begin to see the points and survey chains drawn into our GeoPack project and our DGN. Once that drawing is complete, I will move the dialog boxes out of the way and show that the entire project has actually been imported into GeoPack survey via the GeoPack input file format. Now that everything is drawn into my DGN and imported into my GPK database, I will save my coordinate geometry session by choosing Save. I'll simply call this KC, I'll call it KC input file. Click Apply, and then close my coordinate geometry window. Now that I have imported this data, this is all drawn using the SMD file in GeoPack survey. I can manipulate it just like any other GeoPack survey data. For example, you can see many point comments that are displayed in my DGN file. I can go to Visualization, Display, by Named Groups, and turn on the toolbox which we added for V8. And this will let me take advantage of the named groups in V8, and I can simply click a button to turn on and off the point comments. They're not taken out of my DGN file, but just taken out of my view for a moment to clear up my working area. If I go to Geometry Points Edit, I'll see a warning, and this is one of the limitations of importing points as part of an input file, in that it is not part of a data set. This limits our ability to segregate the data for editing and loading it to DTM and those type of operations. Let me click OK to this. I'll click Select Point, And you'll see now that these points are just like any other points that I would have in GeoPack Survey, and I can use them for editing COGO inverses and of course adding to a DTM model. The same thing is true for chains. Under Geometry, Chains Edit, I'll select a chain, and then as I select the points, my settings are such that the point will automatically be centered on my screen. So this is just one of the ways that you can take legacy KC data and bring into GeoPack Survey, and that is through the input file format.